Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure and this is Cities Skylines. So last time we were here I was pretty rash and deleted quite a lot of the, well, let's not muck about here. I deleted pretty much all of my industrial area. And in the process I got rid of quite a bit of power generation and much more. The upshot now is of course that I've got to rebuild the thing, and we are in mid-plague at the moment, and all of this comes from trying to resolve the kind of plague outbreaks that we've been hitting. And the supposition there is that actually it's traffic queues that are causing outbreaks of extensive death that I'm finding particularly tricky to rectify. So I'm going to try and fix that, and it's not going to happen all of a sudden, but this is just a small part of it, and traffic flow is the aim of the game. So we've got 3 of these rather splendid looking but as yet untested, so we don't know if they're effective or not, eye-shaped kind of roundabout intersections, and in between those we're going to link more traffic circles up here. You know, we've got one going under the bridge, we've got another one here that I'm going to link up. Basically, I want to try and make it so that our traffic has as many options as possible to get to their desired destinations. The other thing that we're bringing along is a whole slew of new rail cargo stations. And this is largely because previously I found that the queues in these places were just wretched, and they create a knock-on effect that hit all over the place. So I'm going to try and resolve as much of this as possible. As you can see, since you were last here, I have done a little bit of work already, and largely I'm trying to get services sorted out. So this cargo station here, so this is all one-way road in both directions. If that's not an oxymoron, it isn't, shouldn't be. Yeah, so we've got one way running here, so that the trucks can go in, drop off, pick up, come back out. They hit this roundabout here, at which point they've got immediate option to get onto highway if they want to, or they can come back out in the other direction and get into the main industrial network. And the biggest change that I've made to the industrial network this time around is I'm making it so that far less of it's actually going to be occupied. Much more of it is going to have, you know, empty spaces in the middle, and you know, and generally not fill the whole thing in quite as densely as I had done previously. Now, with stuff like residential with commercial buildings, you can pack them in pretty tight, and no one's going to object too greatly. But with industry, due to the amount of trucks that actually get stuck in parking as much as anything else, layering it in too densely, because the traffic moves quite slowly, can actually have a really detrimental effect on the rest of your city. At least that's the kind of belief that I'm operating off right now. So so what I'm going to do in this episode is I'm going to hopefully lay out enough industrial so that I can switch the thing back on, and hopefully stave off the disaster that is currently building. Yes. So yeah, I mean, other small features that I've been working on. So this garbage dump here is the only thing accessible by that bit of road, which should help the garbage truck situation get around. A wizard scheme, and it is wizard, that I'm going to work on longer term, is I'm going to get rid of all my city dumps and change all of them for furnaces. Now it's high risk, it's unproven. I don't know for sure, and actually you may be able to help me on this. I don't know for sure whether there is a synergy between dumps and furnaces and incinerators. I don't know whether you need to have both in order for them to be effective. So if you do know, let me know. But my thinking is that these dumps fill up so flaming quickly that I'm just going to, live a longer and happier life if I get rid of them. And yes, it may be more expensive to run incinerators instead of, the hybrid dumps and incinerator method, but they turn stuff into electricity, which means that theoretically I need far fewer electrical kind of substations and what have you. Power plants, that's what you want to describe. Yes, so yeah, by burning garbage, effectively, you know, I need fewer power plants. That's got to be a good thing, right? Yeah, let me know, because you know I'm uncertain of this, but that's what I'm going to work towards. I want to get rid of all the dumps in the town, in the city, and replace them. Whew, with incinerators. Yes, it's more pollution, but I think it might help my my continual sort of mounting death issues that have been going on. Now, shall I take this over and link it, or shall I just... Let's get you up in the air, my friend. And as you can, I mean, as you probably noticed already, I'm using nothing but these nice little side street, two-way roads to get everything everywhere. Don't need anything more than that. I mean, I certainly don't want to be encouraging kind of super heavy or very heavy traffic. And equally, I don't want to have to legislate to stop those guys interfering with my operations. So, yeah, I'm just going with a fairly low capacity, but hopefully it won't need high capacity road network. Because once they get onto highways, you know, they can move about pretty freely as long as I've got queuing systems operating reasonably well. Okay, now I just want to, in fact, let's get rid of that because it's not serving any purpose now. The other thing that is kind of critical to success here is that I managed to get a reasonable amount of industry filling in fairly quickly. That's going to be kind of important. Yeah. Well, we'll see. You know, I'm not far off trying this thing out, so we will find out in relatively short order. If I could get you in there, that'd be great. Might cause a bit of mayhem, but if that works, that would be rather splendid. So yeah, I mean, these I roundabouts here. What should I call them? I call them an I-junction. So these I-junctions, they're designed to feed everything in multiple directions. The real challenge is going to be, do they? You know, and kind of secondary to that is going to be the way in which I link services up to the roads that come off those. So, you know, if I put a heavy industrial area right off one side and not balance it correctly with where things actually want to go, I could leave myself in a bit of a state. Anyway, look, here's a nice riverside industrial park. Yes, interesting. I do want to make sure that the power from here actually gets over to there, though. So what I've done is what I didn't have before is I've actually linked the solar system we've got going on here, which is feeding this entire area. I've linked it over the other side of the river. All being well, by linking the two together, it should mean that if I've miscalculated the needs from one side to the other, that can be adequately resolved. Go on, you should be able to get under that bridge. There we go. Nice. Okay, right, where are we up to? Now, I've nowhere near zoned enough there. So let's get some more in. Because basically the area that I'm building in was pretty much wall-to-wall industrial before I got rid of it, along with you know, a fair shake of power. I hadn't built over this side so much, as you can probably tell by the fact that it's still, you know, beautiful and green. We've got this this rail depot here. I wasn't planning to link it up, but I think I might have to. Basically, as long as I've still got, you know, 600,000, 500,000 in the bank by the time I've finished this this little building project, then I'm hoping I have enough cash to make it a beautiful reality. So let's see. Yes, so one-way sections and cargo rail cargo rail. Yes, it's important because you don't want traffic trying to get to those cargo stations from both directions. I mean, you can, it works, but you end up with, just the biggest queues you've ever seen in your natural life, and the result of that is it's just unhelpful. It's going to make you very sad. So, this is effectively one long one-way loop going on here, and at the other end I'm going to build another circle here and a bit more industrial, because the two masters of focus your thoughts, man. The two masters of a cargo rail station are industrial and commercial, because obviously the commercial side of things uses the do I want this one way? Probably do. Or do I? No, I don't. Yeah, so obviously the industrial produces the goods in the first place, and then the commercial sells it onto regular people. So you're going to want to make sure that it has good connections to both. Now, the obvious first thing to do is have, really rocking connections to your industrial stuff. But you also need to make sure that it's going to get... No, go the right way around here, otherwise you will repent it later. Yes, make sure you've got good connections to both industrial and to commercial. There we go. That was a really simple thought that took ages to get out of my brain. I apologise for that. Right, should we two-way this? Yeah, let's two-way this on a... Is that wise? Yeah, let's put a medium-sized road here. And, much of this is going to take a little while to fully develop, but it will fully develop at some point. Go on, get across there nice and neat. Be a star. There we go. Not sure where that's going to go in the longer term. It's going to go there for now, though, so... I might need to do some clever junctioning in a minute. Or rather, actually, I probably won't need to do clever junctioning until it's live. Oh, the slope isn't too steep. Live a little. That's not quite as graceful as I'd hoped, but we will get over it. You are going to... Let's take you off on a wiggle here, I think. Actually, have I got this going the right way? That one, yes. That one, right, yes. Yes. And so this one, where are we going with this one? Come on, you should know which way the traffic's flowing. This one's heading up. Oh, so you want one from here. Right, okay. Only not quite as ugly as that. Let's try the straight line approach. That's better. Alright, good. So, that's horrible. I'll resolve that junction a little better another time, because I don't need it perfect right now. Let's commercial some of this, because that will be unusual. That's industrial, that lot. Yes, I am being a little haphazard about it, but largely because it just needs to, kind of build up to start with. So I'm not going to backfill much more of this with industrial buildings, because I want to limit the traffic that comes down here. All I do want to do is make sure that I've got a solid connection up for electricity to the rest of my network. Yeah, let's say this side less of an issue, but the other side, the side with the cargo train on, we want to make sure that that's relatively free and clear. because obviously if you've got other commercial vehicles, industrial vehicles dropping off, you are going to build up the traffic usage of that bit of road. Okay, so we need to get you across to there somehow, and I think we might... do I want to temporary it, or shall I do it properly now? Let's do it properly now. I don't know if I'm going to get on to actually turning everything back on again in this episode at this rate. Which is disappointing, because I'd like to. What do you want to do with this? We're going to have to go under and over. Unless we pop back down again. Let's pop back down again. Oh, hold on. Let's get it over the other side of the train track first. Then pop back down again. There you go. Connect you up to there. And then let's take a junction off here. Yeah. That's what I want. Now this this bit I'm building now is likely to be a traffic hellhole for a bit. Oh, maybe it won't be. Maybe signs point to it being a traffic hellhole. So I'll want to I want to get that fixed before I expand into this area too dramatically. Yeah, that's not an attractive junction. In a perfect world, I want every junction to be attractive. I'm not in a perfect world. Right, okay, so that's connected at both ends to the freeway. So that will be enough to keep that rolling. I just need to make sure it's got some power. So let's link you over onto this kind of main line area here and hope that that fills in quickly enough. Now, commenting folk, you have been suggesting for a while that I need to sort out my public transport in order to help with traffic. Yes, I do. Public transport is critical to the health of your city, and as such, it's not something that I can really afford to neglect. But I am neglecting it, at least temporarily, because I want to get traffic working without using public transport. You might go, well, why would you purposefully make it difficult for yourself? And you're going to go, well, that's the challenge, my friend. That's the why we're here. If I can get traffic working smoothly without using public transport, then just imagine what I can do with using public transport. Now, it may well be that you know, this foolhardy goal, such is my way, is actually unachievable. Well, I'm going to find that out. I'm going to find out for myself whether I'm setting myself up for a fall with a goal that can't be accomplished. But yes, I would very much like public transport to be kind of a... Yeah, well, I already had this working, but now I've added public transport in. There's virtually no traffic on the roads at all, apart from ambulances and garbage trucks. Because, you know, a city without ambulances and garbage trucks isn't a city at all. Right, okay, I'm going to do this bit. I'm going to switch it back on, and we're going to see how close we are to accomplishing what we need. In fact, I think I'm going to make this bit one way. There we go, and we'll do the same back in the opposite direction. There we go. Alright, so the hope here is that people don't find this route desirable in order to get over in this direction, right? And that that instead they choose to pursue the highway down, spin off here, and take the highway back in this direction, as they should, rather than trying to cut through what will end up being quite a busy district. If they end up trying to take these things as a shortcut, they're going to be, well, firstly, hosing my beautiful plan, which we don't want. Equally, and this is another risky bit that I've done. So, if you were around for the design of this I-junction in the first place, I've basically put these two service roads on the side, and these two service roads are going to be ideal for the likes of incinerators, for hospitals, for fire engines, fire departments, police stations, because they connect so very quickly up to major routes. So the thinking is that I can use those to keep my stuff humming along in a service fashion, given the great connections that they've got to kind of road infrastructure. And the risk I have taken here is by linking these two together, which does effectively make a bypass. But the only thing I'm going to stick down here is I'm going to put this graveyard and a solar plant and an incinerator and a trash doodah, and basically just services on this extended road. This junction here is, that's where we could run into mess. If you don't believe me, I'm virtually certain that's not what I wanted to place there, really. I'm virtually certain that will break relatively quickly after I switch on, which I'm going to do in the next episode, because what I want to follow it through as it develops. So rather than having a build-based episode, I want the next one to be a watch and see as the world falls apart. So please tune in for that. I've been Colonel Failure. Yes, this has been an episode built on theory and the discussion thereof. Now, I'm pretty sure I've built enough industrial there to offset what I had before. No, I need to do this bit as well. Okay, so I'm going to stick around and do that, and then next time we'll switch this on and see where we get to. Thanks very much for watching today. Please do leave a comment and let me know what you think. Is this going to pay off? Is it going to be as catastrophic as everything else? And subscribe for more of the same, and I'll catch up with you very soon. Cheerio.
Listen.